Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Can everyone see me? What's it looking like? What's the technology? What's it looking like? Every time I hop on one of these live streams, I always have that little panic. I feel it right now in my chest. I'm like, "Oh my god, what's going to go wrong this time?" Right? What's going to go wrong? I have PTSD from this, you guys. Luckily, you are all such lovely people. You're so patient and so supportive. And so I'm able to figure it out without panicking all too much. But thank you all so much for being here. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm glad that we are doing this again. Yes, I'm so happy. I'm so glad that we are doing this, you all. Yesterday's live stream, I will say it was a different type of day. I was shocked by the news. And so today I wanted to do our usual live streams where we get to hang out, we get to talk about Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts, we get to roast them, and we also get to communicate with one another. We get to connect, we get to trauma bond, and we get a sense of community. And that's what I really love about these live streams, and I love doing this with you all. I absolutely love it. I get so excited. I get so excited. I hope that now you can tell that I'm not as nervous as I used to be in the beginning. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, hello. Hi, Linda's family. Hello from Indiana. Yeah, this is awesome. I like doing the 11 o'clock. I know that a few of you are like, oh, later on in the day is a little bit harder. But like I said before, I want to get everybody involved, all of our folks out in Australia as well. I know that we have some friends all over, right? All over the world, out in Europe as well, who they want just different times so that we can be able to all collaborate. But I will say 11 o'clock is perfect for me. It gives me just enough time to do nothing, to get up and mosey around, pet my cats, make myself my coffee or my tea, look out the window, and panic about the economy. My old people things. It's just very normal these days. Oh, you get up, you wake up, and you panic. Oh my God, what's going on in the world? Right? So it gives me that perfect time to feed myself and then go into panic mode while I'm looking out the window, thinking about, oh, taxes this year really sucked. Paying taxes. Oh, the IRS, my best friend. Always reaching out to me only when they need things, money, right? My best friend, the IRS. I always, you avoid the IRS like the plague, but they're always knocking on your door, right? Oh, it's April. Tax season is here. Hello. You haven't called me in over a year. That's because I don't like you. I'm ignoring you for a reason, IRS, right? Joking. Of course, don't ignore the IRS. You can't ignore them. They're going to find you, right? The only two things that are certain in this world, death and taxes, right? It's sad. Very, very sad. We're starting off our live stream with just sad facts. Everybody laugh. Let's all enjoy that corporate laugh. Death and taxes, yes. Right? Of course. But very happy to have you all here. We are going to continue with our calendar. We're going to continue with our calendar and our timeline. And so, yeah, we made a few changes here. We definitely made some changes to Shannan's trip. So she actually left for Arizona on the 10th, not on the 9th. So we made that change, and then we also made a change here for Ronnie. So Ronnie, based on what we have heard and what we've read so far, it does seem like Ronnie took the previous week off, so the week of the 30th of July up until I believe it was the 3rd of Friday, 3rd of August, which is a Friday, and not the week after that. Okay, so it was this week. So those are the corrections that we have made. And if there's anything else, yeah, please let me know. How's everybody? How's everybody? That was my little intro there. But yeah, let's say hello to everyone. I was wondering what was on Rox's face. It was something stuck on my screen. Oh my gosh. Guys, if I have something on my face, please let me know. Hmm? I have something on my face? Yeah. Yeah, please let me know if I have something stuck on my teeth too. I always make sure to check. I'll look at myself here and I'm like, I don't know, do I have something? I always want to make sure. Could you imagine doing a whole live stream for 2 hours with a thing in my mouth, like a whole asparagus sticking out? I'm making fun of Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger as there's literally a whole chicken leg sticking out of my face. It would be so ridiculous. Yes. Oh, I watched Ronnie's interview after the link was posted on Community. Oh, Ronnie's interview. Yes. Are we talking about the most recent interview or like the more recent one of his interviews? Yeah, stay tuned for a video. We are going to have our video tomorrow will be published. And so it is a video about Ronnie, just a heads up. Just a heads up to all of you. It is a Ronnie video for tomorrow. Ronnie was so rough on Shannan. Yeah, he was. He was, which is why I don't cut him any slack. I really don't. I know that it was Cindy who wrote that disgusting book, but Ronnie, I don't cut him any slack because he was part of it. He was definitely part of the Mean Girls crew. If you all know, I don't know if you're aware of the movie, if you're familiar with the movie Mean Girls, he was definitely one of them. Maybe Cindy was the main character, right? What's her name? Rachel McAdams' character. I completely forgot already. Regina George. There we go. Maybe Cindy was Regina George, the main character, but Ronnie is definitely one of the little sidekicks. Oh, you had to know her to be around her, right? Those little comments. And so that's why I just don't cut him any slack. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Oh, Lord, Chris, and Lord, Son, God Almighty, Son. Right, as he's still kind of putting blame on the victims. So, yes, I didn't see it. New video. No, there will be a new video tomorrow. New video tomorrow. Yes, I love the original Regina. Yeah, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's one of those millennial movies, a chick flick, whatever it's called, from the 2000s. Really good movie though. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and get into it. We left off last time on August 10th. And that is the actual date that Shannan left for Arizona. We made that correction. Thank you, Cosmo Bear, for that. And then I went through and just made sure that that is the correct date. And so, based on other information, other interviews, it does seem that August 10th is when Shannan really left. So let's go ahead and start from there. So Watts took the day off from work and Shannan left for Arizona. Okay, so we know this because it's the 10th. It is Friday, which correlates with the text messages between Chris and his coworkers. On the 10th at 6:20, it says missing from Watts's phone. So here we know already that all of this conversation came from Shannan's phone. None of it came from Chris because Chris had already deleted everything from his phone per Nicole Kessinger's request. So missing from Watts's phone, but found in Shannan's, she told Watts, "Good morning, honey. Sorry to make you wake up early twice today. I didn't want the alarm going off. We are checked in and everything. It's already a madhouse here today. Enjoy the girls. Don't forget King Supers, 10 to 11. I told Bella I was leaving to work with Nikki and assured her that I was always coming home." Ooh. They usually don't eat right away lately. Give them lots of kisses with a little kissy emoji for me. Thank you for everything last night. I miss you, love, and love you so much. I'm still in shock. We are having a little boy. I'm so excited and happy. I really thought it was another girl. Thank you for letting me hold you this morning. It felt good. Your letter is on the counter. Have a great time with the kiddos. They truly missed you. Love you, baby. Send me pics. Look at how loving, look at how cute this text message is. She's obviously putting in all the effort to let her husband know, right? Her piece of crap husband know that she loves him. She's telling him, enjoy the kiddos, right? As if he's actually going to enjoy the kiddos. He's not going to enjoy them because he's spending all of his time with Nicole Kessinger. Oh my goodness. Just reading this after the fact is so difficult. It's difficult to do it and not feel anything, right? Not feel gross about it. At 6:43, Shanann told Watts, "I don't know why I feel really weak standing. I'm drinking a Gatorade and had a biscuit." Right? So she's telling Chris that she's having, health issues, right? She's pregnant, she's feeling weak, she needs Gatorade, right? She's getting ready to take off. What time did the kids wake up? Chris speculated her weakness was from a lack of sleep. Look at this. Oh, it's probably from lack of sleep, he says. Watts told her that Bella just woke up and Celeste was still asleep. Well, he acknowledged this. He didn't acknowledge other things in the past, but he's like, oh, it's probably lack of sleep. Oh, I mean, she's also pregnant. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She's been flying back and forth, but, he acknowledged, oh, it's probably a lack of sleep. At 7 a.m., Shanann received a calendar alert regarding her flight. All right, so from Denver to Phoenix. At 7:51, Jeremy Lindstrom, apparently knowing that Watts was having a boy, congratulated him. Little man is lucky, right? Little man is a lucky boy. Watts thanked Jeremy and asked what time the birthday party was on Sunday, August 12th. Okay, so here we have it in our calendar. We have it here. Wait, sorry, where is it? Right here. So, congrats, buddy text. So it was on the same day. And as we know from Chris's own response, he didn't really sound that enthusiastic. He's like, yeah, sure, I guess, in text version. If you text your friends a lot and you know how they text, you'll know. You definitely know when that text is off. Thanks, man. That's what it sounded like to me, at least. Yes. Yeah, she's exhausted. Yes, Shelly. Yeah, that's exactly what she's feeling. She's exhausted. She's been flying back and forth, doing all kinds of things, hanging out with different types of people, just using up all of her energy. Socializing takes up a lot of energy. It does a lot, especially for introverts, but even for extroverted people, you can only handle it for so long. Um, all right, and then at 8:03, not found in Chris's phone, Shanann and Watts exchanged happy anniversary. Oh my goodness. Okay, happy anniversary messages on the 10th of August. The 10th of August, happy anniversary messages. Wait, is this when they got married? Or is this when they got together? I thought they got together later on. Okay, but yeah, what do we know about this? So they exchanged happy anniversary messages on the 10th. Let's go ahead and add that to the calendar because that is a new one for me. Did anybody else know this? Am I the only one that didn't know this? Happy anniversary. All right. Oops, I forgot the A. All right. Happy anniversary. How sad. Anniversary. Oh, that's when they met. Okay. A happy anniversary text. And that's when they met. All right, cool. So go ahead and add that in there, just as like that they met. All right, first I've heard. Yes. Okay, so August 10th is when they met. So that was 8 years, but they got married in the fall. Got it. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Thank you all. All right. And so here it is, right? So happy anniversary on the 10th. The same day of the baseball game, the same day of the fire stick, Shanann is telling him happy anniversary, and Chris already knows that he's going to annihilate his entire family. All right, let's continue. So Shanann told Watts that she just landed in Arizona. That was at 8:44. So at 8 in the morning, Shanann landed in Arizona. At 9:24, Watts asked Jeremy, Do you think McKenna is available to watch the girls for a few hours tomorrow night? I won a raffle at work for a Rockies game. Lie. It's with people I don't know from work, but I haven't been to a game in a while where the kids aren't involved and only the last inning. LOL. Jeremy replied, "Of course," and asked which house. Watts replied, "I would say my house because the girls would fall asleep earlier or easier, and it would be watching the monitor." When asked what time, Watts said 5:30. Game starts at 6:15. Okay, so here we know now that they left around 6:15 or a little bit earlier, right? So around 5:30 is when the babysitter showed up so that Chris can take off with Nicole Kessinger to the Lazy Dog, right? This was their first anniversary of meeting and dating. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Chris and Nicole Kessinger took off to the Lazy Dog on Chris and Shannan's anniversary. That is that's disgusting. Wow. Oh, I'm so sorry, Raven Angel. Yeah, these people they have no empathy. These are true psychopaths. They lack empathy. They don't care. They completely dispose of their family members or people that they love in their brains before they actually do anything to them physically. I mean, yes, you're right, Julie. It's crazy. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. I mean, of course, right? We've been seeing throughout this entire discovery page here that every time Shannan is texting Chris about something and she wants to fix the marriage, Chris immediately transfers a nude photo of Nicole Kessinger into his phone. So he's talking to his wife and he's like, I don't care about you. Oh, photo. Nicole, yeah. Ignoring his wife because he's talking to Nicole. So it's really not surprising that he was able to go out and, allegedly plan an entire murder on his anniversary day. It's not surprising. God. Oh my goodness. Well, we have that in the calendar and it's huge. All right, at 11:57, Shanann sent Watts a web address for the realtor, homesnap.com, and Meadows. 3 minutes later, Watts visited the website. Okay. Chris asked McCoy what time he wanted to meet for that fire stick. By 15:05, Watts told McCoy he had arrived at their meeting location. Okay. Interesting. All right. At 13:42, Shanann received a confirmation from Amazon that the book she ordered was delivered. Minutes later, she suggested that Watts check the mail. Oh no. This is sad. Shanann is actively trying to get Chris to read the book that she ordered, and Chris is nowhere to be found. I mean, he's not at home. He's not gonna check the mail. Who knows where he was, right? We speculate that after he picked up the fire stick, did he go to Survey to dig that hole? Whatever he was doing, he was definitely not checking the book that Shanann ordered. Oh my God, can I please tell you the names that he used for the fake friends that he went to the game with that he told Tammy? Please, 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 please. Okay. Yes. Tammy knew that he was full of shit, so she pressed him for the last names. Yes, let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it. He did, yeah, because he definitely lied about this Rockies game. He didn't go to it, obviously. Yeah, I'm not much of a hate person, but I absolutely hate narcissistic people and narcissistic personalities. Yeah, see, yeah, of course. See, it's okay to dislike people who are hateful. Like, it's okay to hate hateful people. I'm not a hateful person. I don't hate good people, though, right? Like, I don't hate innocent people. I hate crappy people because they're crappy to other people. I think that's okay, right? It's okay to be hateful towards hateful people. It's not gonna balance it out. We can't love them. It's not, "Oh, my love is gonna make you good." No, that's not how things work, right? This isn't Scary Movie 3, right? "Oh, my love, our love is gonna make you not kill anymore, Tabitha." Right? I don't know. Do you know Scary Movie 3? Probably not. And yes, that's not how it works. Oh, heck no. The mail that was the last thing on Chris Watts's mind. Exactly. Yeah, he's not gonna be checking the mail. Oh, the mail. I need to go check the mail for a book with pages and words. I have to read them. I have to use my brain for that. I'm not going to check the mail. Of course not. He's not going to check the mail for a book. Literature? What is that? Oh my goodness. All right. Cosmo Bear says his friends' names were Cody Bourgeois, Sam LaRue. Two French sounding names that made me the fake Rockies game. Yes. So Cody Bourgeois and Sam LaRue. That's great. I wonder where Chris got that from. Sam LaRue and Cody Bourgeois. He probably read it, or he probably heard Nicole Kessinger mention the bourgeoisie, right? She's like talking about history or something because she reads a lot. And she's like, "No, Christopher, those are the bourgeoisie." And so then Chris is like, "Oh, yes, my friend Cody Bourgeois." He probably didn't even say it correctly. And then his other friend, Sam LaRue. Isn't LaRue a singer? I thought she was a singer. Isn't she a singer? Right? I don't know. Thank you for that, Cosmo Bear. Those are ridiculous names. Wow. Yes, we're supposed to love everyone, but sometimes it's impossible to like people who use everybody else. Exactly. Exactly. It's just impossible to like other people who are just hateful and spiteful. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, so they did the fire stick, right? And then Shannan asked Chris to check the mail. That didn't happen, obviously. For her part, Shannan was upbeat and optimistic this day for the first time in weeks. This is evidenced in her conversations with others via messages. In the weeks preceding, Shannan was heartbroken, confused, and emotionally distraught. At present, however, Shannan felt they turned a corner, that Watts was finally communicating with her and was willing to work towards fixing whatever was wrong. Shannan shared this news with many, and her friends sent happy and supportive responses. As for Watts, the book and the Amazon shipping box it arrived in was found in the garage trash can during the search of the home. So the whole thing was in the trash can. He didn't even bother to open the box. He's like, "Oh, okay. Oh, there's a package." Straight in the trash. He didn't even care to recycle it. See, my OCD would never allow me to just throw a full, put together box into my recycling bin. There's no way I can do that. I'm not going to throw a whole box into my recycling bin. I'm going to cut it open, right? Cut it open, fold it, and then make sure that it's stood up correctly so that I can fit more cardboard throughout the week. But that's just me because I have severe OCD. Chris Watts just didn't care. He's like, "Oh, look, there's a box. I don't want it. I don't care. I'm going to throw it in the trash." Wow. Wow. Ronnie Watts asked if Watts deleted his Facebook account. Okay. So here we see the dad is now asking Chris if he deleted his Facebook page. Chris replied, "Yes, sir. Liberated myself." What? Chris liberated himself by getting rid of Facebook. Okay. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about this? The fact that Chris said, "Yes, sir, liberated myself." Right? It's uh, this is something that I just can't stand about Chris Watts. Chris Watts is, in a way, he's trying to cater to his family. In a way, he's trying to make them think that his family finally got to him, right? Like, "Oh, dad, I finally saw the light. Oh, I've liberated myself finally. I finally listened to my mother telling me to liberate myself," right? So he's making it seem like, "Oh, I finally saw the light, you guys." When in reality, the only reason that he's doing any of this is because of a mistress, right? But he's playing both parties here. And that's something that is very Chris Watts. I get the impression that he did that with Shannan and his family. He turned people against one another so that he can always be the victim. And here he's doing it again. He's playing to what his family wanted. "Oh, I'm liberated." So that his family can be like, "Oh, we're so proud of you, son." Right? And that's why he's doing it, because he wants that praise. "Give it to me. Give me the praise. I'm liberated." And so that's what he wants. But at the same time, like, he knows that that's not the reason he deleted it. He deleted it because it's Nicole Kessinger telling him, right? So in reality, he didn't liberate himself. He went from one relationship that he didn't enjoy to another one where he was going to be controlled and manipulated in a sinister way, like an absolute moron. What do you guys think? Oh my goodness. Facebook is toxic. Yeah, but so is Chris Watts. Yes. Chris Watts was a people pleaser as well. Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Good point. He was a people pleaser. Absolutely. Which is why, part of it was him placating Shanann at the same time, right? Because he's trying to be a people pleaser with everybody. He's trying to keep everyone okay, right? Not happy. He's not going to keep everyone happy, but he just wants to keep everyone okay. Like, "Oh, it's okay. I'll fix it later." Right? He tells his parents, "Oh, I'll fix it later." He tells Shanann, "I'll fix that later." He tells Nicole, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll get rid of my family later." He's just placating everybody. All right, let's continue. At 14:33, Ronnie asked Watts if Shanann, if she's gone with you, wait, sorry, if she's gone, you think we could FaceTime with the girls tonight? Okay, there we go. Okay, so Ronnie asked Chris, if she's gone, do you think we can FaceTime with you? She meaning Shanann. Or do you think that's a good idea? Don't want to get anything started. Chris replied that he feared Bella would tell Shanann. Ronnie responded, "That's what I'm afraid of. If she finds out, she would probably have a fit. Don't want to make things worse." Chris agreed. I don't. If she's gone, do you think we can FaceTime with the girls tonight? It's just, I mean, even the way that they're talking to one another, right? The issue hasn't been resolved. The issue is very simple here. Shanann just wanted an apology. She wanted an apology from Cindy and Ronnie, and then she wanted the dad, right? The dad of the children, so Chris. She wanted Chris, her husband, to talk to her family, or sorry, to his family about it. That's basically it. She wasn't asking for much, just an apology and for Chris to stand up to his family. That's it. It could have been very easily resolved, but instead, what we see here is just a bunch of immaturity. Look at this. Immature men, grown ass men. A 33-year-old man, and I don't know how old Ronnie was, 60 something probably. They're both talking about, "Oh, let's go behind Shanann's back and FaceTime. Do you think she's going to have a fit?" Right? Just like high school girls. What is this? Mean girl-esque. What is going on here? Why go through all this drama when you can just resolve it like adults? Apologize for what you did and move on, right? But that's the thing. Chris didn't learn anything from parents like these. And I will say it. I'll say it. All right. I'll say it. The thing is that these parents never held Chris accountable because they could never hold themselves accountable. So you can't teach your child to be respectful of other people if you are not respectful of other people yourself. you have to set an example for your children. And so the example set here is that neither parent, right, neither Cindy nor Ronnie would take accountability for their toxic behavior against their daughter-in-law. That's the problem here. I said it. It needs to be said. It needs to be said. All right, 1808. Shannan asked Matt Johnson if he was still planning to stop by her home and repair the air conditioning. Johnson said he hopes to and will coordinate with Watts. Shannan and Watts then exchanged messages regarding this expected repair. Okay, so then in 1908, Watts searched the internet for shows at the Comedy Works. Here we go. Chris again doing all of the effort, taking all of the time in the day to look up places to take out Nicole Kessinger. Here it is again. And Queso experienced, but he had to Google everything with a doofus. Yeah, Google. Oh yeah, Chris is Googling everything. What does Facebook do? Is this a machine? How does love feel? What is a Dead Sea Scroll? Where is the Dead Sea? What is a sea? How do you spell sea? Is it just the letter C? Or is it SI? Right? He was Googling the most ridiculous things, right? He was Googling Google. And then he would click on the Google link and then it would take him back to Google. And then he's like, oh my God, how do I Google? It just keeps taking me back to Google. I want answers. So then he asked Jeeves. And then Jeeves told him, why don't you Google it? And then Chris is like, oh no, I don't have answers. What an absolute moron. He was the Comedy Works. He didn't have to take Nicole anywhere. He could have just stood there and spoken, right? Just talk. He's funny as it is. Everything that comes out of his mouth is ridiculous. Have you seen the sermon on the porch? If they're okay, then they'll be back. But if they're not okay, are they going to be back? I don't know. I hope they're okay wherever they is. And if they're stuffed, then I hope they're cuddled. And I hope they're huddled somewhere. But I hope that they barrel rush me someday. No thought whatsoever. All right, at 2:07, right? At 2020, so 2020. At 2000 hours, Watts searched Google for Blue Agave Grill in Denver and Northern Colorado. Here we go again. They went to the Comedy Works to laugh, ha ha ha, hee hee hee, right? Giggle, giggle, giggle. And now they're going to the Blue Agave Grill. He's like, oh, let me go take you to go get some agave, right? Nicole Kessinger, first she wanted wine from Argentina. And now he's like, let me take you to go get some Mexican tequila. Yeah, let's go get some shots. I'm cultured. I like the tequila. Yeah, let's go get some. And so that's probably where he got the empanadas from, too. I'm joking. Empanadas are not Mexican, right? It's not Mexican food. But who knows? That's when he became the most knowledgeable about other types of foods, other types of culture, because Nicole Kessinger is telling him to read. Yeah, read about the Middle East. There's some Dead Sea Scrolls out there. They're worth nothing because it's historical stuff, right? It's historical artifacts. So you can't buy them. And so Chris is Googling stuff and now he's like, yeah, I want to take you to go get some agave. I didn't know agave only grew in Mexico. Wow, that's interesting. I thought tequila came from Texas. Right? 2120. Shannan called Watts and held a 10-minute conversation. At 2134, Shannan searched the internet via Groupon. Oh, for deals on hotels in Aspen. She sent Watts the link, and minutes later, Watts visited the same websites. Oh, okay. So Shannan sent him the link. He looked it up, and then he's looking up the websites. My neighbor is Puerto Rican and makes empanadas all the time. Oh, yum. That's awesome, Tootsie Pop. Yeah, do we all know where are empanadas from? I want to know where empanadas are from. like for real. Um, are they from I don't know where they're from. Yeah, if anybody knows where empanadas are from, let me know. But 21:53, Shannan said to Watts, if you're up to it, can you put Bella's seat back in the Lexus? She's been begging for it." Watts said, "I will knock it out." Puerto Rico, I believe. Oh. Yeah, I know that a lot of our followers have asked me in the past where what is an empanada and where is it from? And honestly, I've had empanadas before and I know that they are delicious. I know what's in them, but I don't know where they're from. Spain and Portugal. Oh, Spain and Portugal. Nice. Wait, does tequila not come from Texas? Learn new things. We learn new things every day, you guys. I learned so many new things from you, even things not pertaining to this case, you know? All right. So here Shanann was sending him the Aspen trip, the one that they were going to go to together, right? That's why we see that Shanann she has her hopes up because Chris seems to be more communicative, right? He's lying to her, he's gaslighting her obviously, but he's definitely being nicer to her the closer that we get to the day of the murders. But here she asked him to put Bella's seat back in the Lexus. And he says, "I'll knock it out." And he never does. At 22:57, Watts transferred the video of Kessinger thanking him for their trip to the Great Sand Dunes into his secret calculator application. Wait, when was this? On the 10th. On the 10th, that is when he transferred it over. That ridiculous video of her. "Oh, thanks, Christopher. Oh, thank you for coming out with me, Christopher. I hope you had a blast. I loved hanging out with you today, Christopher. I have so much sand all over my cracks, but that's fine. Free exfoliation." Mhm. I don't have to show you all the video unless you want to see it. We can watch it if you guys want. Empanadas are from Spain. I think it was having an affair for a long time before they admitted it. Hmm. Gran. How long ago? Yeah, the thing is there are a lot of people who do believe that the affair started a long time ago. I'm not one of those people. I personally don't think that the affair started a long time ago. I do believe that these two, being the type of people that they are, I do believe that they became obsessed immediately. They became obsessed right off the bat because they're both pick me people. And so when a pick me person meets another pick me person, they both pick each other and they become so absolutely obsessed. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. Also, Argentina. And Mexican and Spanish, we made empanadas, tortillas, and Native American fry bread. Oh, that sounds really good. You guys are making me hungry. I already had breakfast, but let's all eat. Yeah, next time we should definitely have a potluck. Let's do another potluck. We had one last time. We all brought chicken and carrots. Some of you brought right? Cans of asparagus. Someone else brought what else? I can't remember what else was brought, but yeah, we should all have a little potluck, enjoy together during our next live stream. I have no sound. Oh no, Angela. Try leaving and then coming back in. All right. So yeah, so then Chris transferred that video from the sand dunes into his calculator app on the same day, on Friday the 10th. And then Watts connected with the home's wireless network. Okay, so look at this. At 23:10, Chris Watts connected with the home wireless network. 23:10, that's 11:10 at night. So Chris was gone all day, right? Is that what that means? If Chris was gone all day and he came back home at 11:10 at night, that is when his phone connected to the wireless network at 11 at night. That means that he wasn't home. He was out all day. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at this again. Shannan left for work, and then Chris sends that text message, right? Remember, he sent that weird text message to Nicole Kessinger at almost midnight, right? Or sorry, it was at the day prior here. Let me go ahead and I'm going to pull up the text messages so that we can see what we're talking about here. Hello, everyone. Oh, hello from London. Red and White Army. Hello, welcome. All right, so let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull up the text messages. That's what I was gonna do. Where are they at? Here we go. Okay, so this is the get home safe text message. Here it is. Found it. Okay. So this one. So this is midnight on the 11th. Okay, so that means that on Friday, right? This is where it gets confusing, right? With time. So on Friday, he got home at 11:10, and then a few hours later, right? So about an hour and something later, he texted Nicole Kessinger, "I hope you had a great night. Beautiful, miss you. Get home safe. Sweet dreams, my sexy empanada." You know what I just thought about? Have we looked into Chris Watts's his router at home? Because I do know that an unknown there's like an unknown phone or something that connected to the Watts residence router, sorry. That idea just popped in my head. Oh my goodness, let me go ahead and look at that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. The routers. Because I wanna know if this is the same day that we have that mysterious device log into his router, if you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, let me just go ahead. All right, these are the routes, the Anadarko logs. Let's see. Here we go. Watts home router. Okay, we're getting somewhere. When was this though? Oh no, it doesn't have a date. Unless I'm not looking at this correctly. All right, pulling this up. Okay, so here we have this. This at the bottom is what I was trying to get you all to see here. So this is the router, one of the routers, and it's showing here Chris Apple Watch, Shannan's iPad, right? Then we have the Apple TV, and then we have HPD, and then at the very top, it says unknown. And then it has the IP address, the MAC address, and then wireless. But what does this mean? It doesn't have like a date. I wish it had a date. I want to know when this happened because I want to know if her device was connecting with Chris Watts's router at the same time that Chris's phone is also connecting to the router. Does that make sense? And then I want to find out if Nicole Kessinger actually came home with Chris that night. And that is why he's texted her, "Get home safe, my sweet empanada," or whatever. What do you guys think? I mean, we'll definitely have to go down the router rabbit hole. And as you can see here, tons of different types of information here. And there are right? There's lots of information on the routers. So that would be its own separate episode because it would take a lot of time to research it and become knowledgeable on this Netgear Genie router. But yeah, so this is what I was thinking because his router was also taken, and when the times that the Vivint started blocking things, so all of that, looking through all of that will also be important. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that down because we need to go and look through the routers as well. She would need the password to the router though. Really? To connect to the router? What if Chris gave her the password, would she connect? For example, if I have, like my friends would come over and they're like, "Hey, what's your Wi-Fi address or password or whatever?" And I give it to them. They'll connect to my router, but would they connect to my router without them connecting to my Wi-Fi? That's the question. I don't know because I'm not tech savvy, right? I know how to turn on my Wi-Fi at least. I don't know how to use my Wi-Fi. I'm so tech savvy though. I'm a geologist, right? I at least know how to turn on my Wi-Fi. All right, so the router. All right. Where in the heck did he come up with a sexy empanada? He probably heard it. He probably heard it from Nicole Kessinger. She's like, "Let's go get some empanadas." And he's like, that sounds sexy. The way you said it. Empanada. So sexy. That's not how you say it, Chris. But he thought it was sexy because he's never heard it before. He's like, "That's a strange word. Very exotic." He was used to hamburger, right? And cheeseburger. So he heard the word taco and he's like, "It's taco? I thought it was taco. Oh, I learned something new every day." Right. All right, let's continue. All right, we're going into August 11th. Okay, August 11th. All right, we're getting to the bottom of it, guys. August 11th at 7:02, Shannan sent a message to Chris Watts. "Good morning, baby. Are you and the girls up?" Watts replied, "Good morning. They're watching cartoons in bed." Shannan described the thunderstorms the night before in Arizona. Okay, so the girls are watching cartoons in bed at 7 in the morning on August 11th. Okay, so I'm not going to add that to the calendar, but let's just go ahead and look at Saturday the 11th. All right. So at midnight earlier, he had sent that to Nicole Kessinger. And then that is when his weight loss journey ends. That is when, headed home from the Rockies, right? That is when Chris sent that to Shannan. It's also Lazy Dog Day. And it's also when Nicole Kessinger Googles Saratoga. And she also Googles three-way twister. Twister with 3 players. How do we do that? I've only ever played with 2 people. It's going to be interesting with 3 people. We're going to be very tangled up. I'm so excited, right? Whatever she was doing, Googling for 3 or 4 hours straight, whatever she was doing. Where do I position myself? Right? Like, oh, what if I have 4 limbs and I want to be on all of the circles? Do I just put my whole body on it? Right? She's looking up the rules of Twister. And so, yeah, that's the day that he's telling Shannan that the girls are watching cartoons in bed. Are there photos, right? Did he send any photos to her? Minutes later, Shannan asked Watts, "Do you want the NFL package for the fall?" Oh, man. She next searched DirecTV for information about the sports package. Watts replied he wanted to see if the Fire Stick, a streaming flash drive, can save them can save them from spending the money. And Shannan said, "Okay, baby." Again, look at the effort that Shannan is putting. She's asking him about the sports package. "Oh, do you want the sports package, Chris?" And she's showing that she's thinking about him, that she wants him to watch his sports. And here again, he brings up the Fire Stick that he already returned to his friend, mind you. He already returned it to his friend. I don't see my comments on her feed again. Wait, on whose feed? The balloons? Oh. She did not see him that night because he had the kids and she went to the baseball game with Danielle on the 10th. And he was texting her to get home safe. Oh, right. Yes, Cosmo Bear. Yeah, so this is the thing with August 11th and 10th is that Nicole Kessinger really did go to the baseball game, right? She really did go to the baseball game, but we don't know unless we do. I haven't seen any evidence that says that Nicole Kessinger then went out with her friends for drinks or whatever. We don't know that. And so I speculate that Nicole Kessinger then went back home to Chris's house. And then Chris texted her, "Hope you get home safe." But, right, what Cosmo Bear says, it could also be that Nicole Kessinger went to the baseball game, hung out with her friends, and Chris didn't see her that day, but he still texted her, "Hey, get home safely," because she's hanging out with friends. So, which is the answer? We may never know, but that is what I speculate. I would rather it be a ravioli than an empanada. So far, the weekend of the murders, NK had alibis. How convenient. Yes. Yeah. Very good point. I have a client. I have to go for a bit. Oh, no. It's okay, Cosmo Bear. We'll be here. We'll still be here. So when you'll get back, we'll be waiting. But yeah, see, so Crime Deep Dive brought up a very important point here that the weekend of the murders, Nicole Kessinger had all of the alibis. All of the alibis. Look, she was at a baseball game, so she wanted to be seen by her friends. If her friends got interrogated or interviewed or whatever, they were going to say, "Yeah, I hung out with Nicole Kessinger. We were hanging out all day." And then the same with Saturday, right? Same with Saturday. Saturday, they went out to the Lazy Dog, but then on Sunday, she forgets her own alibis. She has no idea what she's doing. She went to the museum with her family, supposedly, but whatever it was, she made sure that people were seeing her and that other people knew what she was doing that whole weekend. So, thank you for that. Thanks for bringing that up and pointing that out. All right. So, minutes later, oh, right, we already did that. Okay, so at 6:58, Jeremy asked Chris if he would rather go with me to the Broncos. Watts lied and said he would like to, but since it's related to my job, they will ask questions if I don't go. What? Jeremy asked Chris if he would rather go with me to the Broncos. Watts lied. He said, "I would like to, but it's related to my job and they will ask questions if I don't go." Oh, that makes sense. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, so Jeremy asked him if he wants to go to see the Broncos instead. Chris said, "No, I have to go to the Rockies game because it's work related." So he's basically lying and saying that he's been voluntold. You have to show up, Chris. It's part of the head count. If you're not at the Rockies game, then you're not really at work. That's what he's lying about. Gosh. And this is it here. We will see that this whole section here, this part is what Chris has mentioned numerous times that he wishes that he had just gone with Jeremy instead. How many times has he said this? I wish I had just gone to the game with my friend instead of going to the Lazy Dog. Why? What difference would it have made? If we are to believe that Chris was going to murder his family anyway, why does Chris always mention that he should have just gone with his friend Jeremy instead of going to the Lazy Dog? Why is that so important? What do we think about that? Yeah, this one right here. I want to talk about this one. Jeremy told him he asked him, would you rather go, oh my God, would you rather go to the Broncos game with me? And Chris says, no, I have to go to the Rockies game because it's work related. And Chris has mentioned that he wishes he had just gone to the Broncos game. What difference would it make? This is why when we look at this case and we look at the Broncos game and the lazy dog, this is why I believe that the final plans, the very, very final plans were at the lazy dog and that 111-minute conversation. That is when the final plans were being drafted, or they were going through how they were going to, you know, do the deed, right? And going through plans A, plans B, plan C, whatever plans they needed to go through in case the other plans fell through. But that's just what I believe. That's speculation. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Baseball is work related? Yeah, baseball is work related. He did also mention that he's going with people he doesn't even know. He's like, yeah, I'm going with coworkers. I don't even know who they are. But he's forced to go because it's work related, supposedly. Yeah, the common denominator is NK. Exactly, Shelly. Exactly. Because the common denominator is NK. What difference would it have made? He could have still gone to the Broncos game and he was still going to murder his family, right? If he was going to murder his family, he was still going to murder them, whether or not he went to the Broncos game or the Rockies game. But when Chris says, I wish I had gone to the Broncos game instead, that tells us that him choosing to go to the lazy dog is what resulted in him murdering his family. That is what's so important about this statement right here. Good point and observation there. We're in crime deep dive. Yes. Yes. That's strange. How do you have a team building exercise when it's not even your team or people you actually work with? Exactly. A team building exercise with strangers, people you've never met before in the company? It doesn't really work that way. All right, let's continue. At 9:45, although not found in Chris's phone, Shannan asked him, "Have you talked to Bella if we have a boy?" Aw, Watts said not yet, and added, "She said when the baby comes out, she will pretend it's a girl." Shannan indicated she was laughing and said, "Oh my God, I love her." Aw. Oh, poor Bella. At 11:18, Watts searched Google for trails and hot springs near Aspen. Oh my God. The douchebag. He doesn't even come up with his own places to take Nicole Kessinger. He's using Shannan's ideas. So Shannan comes up with the idea of taking him to Aspen, and he's like, no, scratch that. I'm going to look up hiking trails and hot springs for me and my girlfriend. He doesn't even have a thought of his own. He's borrowing and recycling ideas from Shannan so that he can take his girlfriend out. This is so pathetic. Chris Watts is the most pathetic man in existence, I think. Probably not. There's a lot more pathetic people. But he's incredibly pathetic. Oh my God. Searching for trails and hot springs in Aspen after Shannan had given him the idea. Ugh. I take it back. He is the most pathetic man I've ever heard of. 12:30. Watts told Shannan, Jen, McKenna, and Kylie coming to watch the girls for a few hours while I go to the Rockies game. Which is not true. He was going out to eat with Nicole Kessinger at the Lazy Dog. Shannan asked him to ensure that they don't feed Celeste anything that she can't eat. She also asked Chris, will you lock my office? Watts replied, definitely. Oh my goodness. Will you lock my office? Definitely. And then Chris Watts searched Google for Toyota dealerships. Okay, I'm going to add this to the calendar. I've never seen this before. Shannan asked him to lock his office, or her office, I'm sorry, her office. And Chris said, definitely. But as we know, Shannan's office was ransacked. This is really interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and add this to the 11th. All right, so Shannan asks Chris Watts to lock office. Do we know anything about this, you guys? That's interesting considering her office was ransacked. Exactly. Exactly. What is this? I've never seen this before. This is new to me. Oh my gosh, where is it? I already lost it. I'm like, I'm in shock right now. Will you lock my office? Huh. They were looking for something in her office. Exactly, Rhonda. Thrive products in the office. The office got trashed. And she's asking if he will lock her office. And then he says, definitely, which we know it wasn't definitely locked because it was ransacked. She didn't do that. She even asked him to lock the office so that the girls wouldn't go in there. And then we find out that the office was a mess. It looks like someone had gone in there, taken everything out from all the drawers, just thrown stuff around as if they were desperately looking for something. Yes, it looked like a mess when the cops first came. Why would she care if it was locked, though? I don't know. That's a very good question. Why would she care if it was locked and not just closed? Well, I would guess it's because of the girls, right? The girls would get in and maybe make a mess. I don't know. I would think that's probably it, so that they wouldn't get in and grab her things and just throw them everywhere. Well, they wasn't gonna find Chris's brain in the office. I don't remember seeing that. Exactly. See, this is all new to me. Again, there's so much information on this case. It's been out for 8 years and we're still finding new things out. So for all the people, all the people who are out there saying, "Oh, you're still talking about Chris Watts?" Yes. Look at all the things we're finding out. We didn't even know this. I didn't know this. And then Chris searched Google for Toyota dealerships. Again, he's looking for Audis, right? He wants an Audi Q7 and now he's looking at Toyota dealerships. At 9:30 in anticipation for the evening with Watts, here we go. Here we go. Kessinger spent 45 minutes, guys. 45 minutes. Let's time it, shall we? What time is it? What time is it? It's 12:04. Here, let's wait. Let's just go ahead and round it to 12:05 on my time. 12:05 my time, and then once it gets to 12:50, that'll be the end of Nicole Kessinger's little twister search. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and time it. All right, 12:05. So someone please keep time. Let's keep time. I like to put these things into perspective because we hear 45 minutes. Yeah, that's a long time. But let's put it in perspective. Let's talk for 45 minutes and then when we're done talking, we'll be like, "Hey, this is how long it took Nicole Kessinger to Google how to prepare for butt play." The 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 backdoor twister guide. This progressed to searches at Twister Hub for different colored circle twister boards and three-way twister with Um, double play, double energy. Uh, I I don't even know what to say to this. It's on the screen, right? It's on the screen. We're seeing what she Googled for 45 minutes straight. I don't know what she was looking at. This was by no means the only time she sought out pornographic videos via the internet. For 45 minutes, guys. Cheaters love to smoke pot with their side tricks. What? Didn't Apple have an update and the passcode has to be 6 digits? Hence, Chris no longer knows her passcode. Well, Chris didn't know her passcode because Nicole Atkinson told Shannan to change her password. So when they were in Arizona, Shannan had been talking to Nicole Atkinson about the issues between her and Chris. And so talking amongst themselves, Shannan decided to change her password. And so she changed it to a 6-digit when before it used to be a 4-digit, I believe. Yes. Double your fun. Yeah. So this is what they're looking at, right? This is, or not they, this is what Nicole is Googling. Three-way twister, back play twister. Can we play back there? And if we can, how many more people can we get included, right? For 45 minutes straight. And the investigator adds here that this by no means was the only time that Nicole Kessinger was Googling this stuff. Of course, nothing wrong, right? Like, there's nothing, I'm not going to shame anybody, right? Any woman for looking this up or whatever. You do you, right? Whatever floats your boat. Me personally, no thank you. But whatever floats your boat. The thing is, though, right, that she's doing it for 45 minutes. She's lying about it, and she's the mistress, and she's involved in this crime. And so that's why we're looking into this, right? At 16:02, Shannan asked what time Watts was leaving for the game. He replied 16:30 and 1700 hours, right? So at 4:30 to 5. Watts called a local Papa John's pizza store. Here we go. The question that Kevin Kobach kept grilling the babysitter about. What kind of pizza did he get? Was it Pizza Hut? Was it Domino's? Papa John's? Little Caesars? Did you get pineapple? Ugh, if you got pineapple, you're under arrest, right? Whatever nonsense he was making the babysitter freak out about. She's like, I don't know, I'm just the babysitter. And he's like, oh, did it have olives? Yes or no? Darn it. Tell me. Was he wearing sunglasses? Was he wearing glasses? What was he wearing? And the poor babysitter is like, I don't know. I've given you everything I know. But when it came to Nicole Kessinger, he's like, oh, it's okay. That's totally normal. Yeah, I'm not even going to ask any more questions. Yeah, call me at 2 a.m. if you want to. You don't need to call Hazel. She's a therapist, but so am I. Yeah, I don't have the degree or the certificate, but I went to community college. Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, I took one class on therapy. I know all about it. Yes, a crime deep dive. I like pineapple on my pizza. I know some people think pineapple is a crime. I don't like olives. I will tell you guys right now, I don't like olives. If you put olives on my pizza, you're under arrest. All right. At 17:59, Shannan asked McKenna, hey, love, this is Shannan. How are the girls? McKenna replied, they are doing great. Cece ate 3 slices of pizza. Shannan thanked McKenna for watching the girls and asked if she needs anything. Just ask. Again, how lovely is Shannan, right? How lovely is she? Asking her, hey, how is it going? Do you need anything? Let me know. Thank you for watching the girls. God, what a huge loss. In contrast, Watts never, ever checked in on McKenna. to see how the girls were doing or whether McKenna needed anything, right? Of course. Of course not. Duh. How could he? He's too busy at the Lazy Dog on 120th Avenue. That's what he's doing. That's why he's not checking in on McKenna or whether or not the girls ate the pizza or if McKenna needs more pizza. What do you want? Nothing. I ate one thinking it was grape. Never again make the same mistake. That's the worst. Thinking you're about to enjoy a nice, succulent grape, right? Juicy. Yum. And you take a bite into an olive. Oh, oh my goodness. I would jump out the window. I wouldn't even. I'd be like, nope, dive right out the window. All right, at 1900 hours, Watts searched Google for restaurants near 120th to include the Rusty Bucket. So I guess they were kind of juggling, right? Do you want to go to the Rusty Bucket or the Lazy Dog? And Nicole's like, I don't know. Which one has the asparagus with just 3 little grains of salt? So that's where I want to go. I'm watching my figure. Are we going to play Twister tonight? Don't you want me to not be full? Of course, right? Chris is like, oh, that's right. Yeah, we're going to have 3 people playing. Yeah, don't eat that much. Please don't eat that much. Just eat half of an asparagus and just 1 grain of salt, please. Don't drink too much water. Low self-esteem, yeah. So here we go. He's looking at 2 different restaurants to take his girlfriend. He's probably also looking at which restaurant is the cheapest. How much money does he have in his account? Oh, what can I afford? Are you sure you don't want to go to the Burger King? Nicole, you sure? Okay. What about Mickey D's? No? McDonald's? No? You don't want, you don't want the number 2? Okay. God. Oh my gosh. Okay, fine. Let's go to the Lazy Dog then. He's trying to budget because he doesn't have that much money left. He spent it all on all of the Vin Diesel heads. 80% off, but they were all still like $250. If you don't get the joke, you should watch that video. All right. At 19:20, Shannan asked McKenna if the girls went to bed yet. McKenna replied, they're all still awake. They're just watching TV, and they said that they don't want to go to bed yet. Shannan advised, I put them to bed by 8. Chris showed you what to do? Make sure that they go to the potty before they go to bed, and Celeste gets a diaper. McKenna ensured that this would all occur. At 21:12, Shannan searched Google for the score of the Rockies game, as well as what time the Rockies game was over. Here we go. Shannan is smart, right? She's not a dumb person whatsoever. She suspected that something was going on with Chris, but she gave him the benefit of the doubt that he was probably not cheating because she believed that she knew him, right? But still, Shannan knows that something's up. The Rockies game is not going to last 17 hours, okay? Or 7 hours long. Like, how many innings was this game? So she's looking it up. And she's looking at what time does it end. Watts told Jeremy that they would be home in 20 minutes. At 22:04, having concluded her evening with Watts, Kessinger searched the internet on topics like Chris Watts, Shannan Watts, Ronnie Watts, and 2825 Saratoga Trail. Look at this, at 10 p.m., having concluded her evening. So after the Lazy Dog, Nicole Kessinger Googled Shannan, Chris, Ronnie, and their address, 2825 Saratoga Trail. Now, for anybody who doesn't believe that the Lazy Dog was not where they planned things, I don't really know what to say, because this is what it looks like. Even according to Chris, again, I'm going to bring this up again. Chris mentioned it, that had he not gone to the Lazy Dog, maybe things would be different. Why? Why? Again, why? Because they were probably finishing the plans. Now, it's obvious that Chris was planning on annihilating his family before Friday, right? We know that. We know that he was planning this way ahead of time. Let's go ahead and look at our calendar. Our calendar here shows that he was actually planning this, at least that we know of for sure, was when he wrote the to whom letter. Okay. But the details of how it was going to go down and everyone's role was probably not set in stone yet. And so this is why I believe that the 111-minute conversation and the lazy dog were all part of that plan. Again, just speculation, opinion, right? Allegedly, all of this is just my opinion based on how I interpret the evidence. But you guys let me know. You guys let me know what you think. Hi, Farrah Fox. Yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? The lazy dog. Do we think that's where they actually sat down and drew circles and they're like, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there? To what extent do we actually think that the lazy dog planning went? Yeah, for Chris Watts, this was complicated. Exactly. Hmm. Wow. Why was she looking up those addresses? Did they ask her? I don't know. Kobach asked NK next to nothing important. Exactly. He didn't ask anything of importance. And when he did, Nicole Kessinger very successfully took the question somewhere else, deflected, and then Kevin Kobach forgot the original question because he wasn't following along at all. I think she was grilling him all night. I think so too. I think so too, Farrah Fox. I think that's probably what was going on, that she was grilling him, right? Like, tell me what you're gonna do, Chris. Okay, and then? Okay, and then if that happens, what are you gonna do? Okay, and then who you're gonna call? Ghostbusters, right? That kind of planning is what I'm talking about, where they were getting their final ducks in the row. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. Nicole Kessinger Googled that. Very strange, right? Why would she have to Google that after a trip, or what is it, a dinner date with Chris Watts? No reason other than she would have to be there the next day, right? Or the following. It would be the following day, actually, because this is Saturday. And Shannan was supposed to arrive on Sunday the 12th. And so that is what I believe. Shannan then called Watts and they held a 3-minute conversation. Shannan searched Google and the internet for Lazy Dog menu and Lazy Dog restaurant. Find a location. Look at that. How she came to learn so quickly of Watts' dinner expense is not reflected in the phone, but I suspect an alert from their bank or credit card company. Exactly. Exactly. This is how Shannan found out about Chris Watts and the lazy dog, is because Chris ended up using his credit card instead of his Anadarko gift card. He used his credit card. Watts called Shannan and held a 3-minute conversation. Immediately afterwards, she sent Watts a message. Oh, save your receipt so we can write it off. Look at this. This is Shannan letting Chris know that she knows that he is at the Lazy Dog, telling him, save the receipt of the dinner that you just purchased that I know about, that you're trying to hide from me. That is what that text message is saying. And again, the reasons for Chris using his credit card they vary. He says that the reason that he used it was because he ran out of money. He just didn't have any money anymore. Oh, I don't have any more money, so I just needed to use it. I suspect that I think a part of it was Nicole Kessinger was testing him. She wanted to know how serious he was about annihilating his family the next morning. And so she wanted him to prove to her that if he used the credit card, that means that he did not care anymore whether or not Shannan found out that he was having an affair. It was more of a test, a prove it to me, Chris kind of situation, in my opinion. Okay, this is speculation, but that is what I believe. This is what I believe. That is why Chris used the credit card as a way to prove to Nicole Kessinger that he was serious about murdering his family the next morning. But you guys let me know what you think. Again, just opinion and speculation. And he didn't care anymore. Yeah, he didn't care anymore. He didn't have to worry anymore. They were planning. Exactly. Nothing mattered about his family anymore. Yeah, exactly. NK saw that house and she wanted that life. That car and the house, NK was all about money. Yep, exactly. He could have went to the ATM and gotten cash. Yeah. I wonder if there was a safe of Shannan's office with cash or valuables. Oh, interesting. That's very interesting. 100% Roxy took the words right out of my mouth. Oh, nice. Great minds think alike. And that's the thing, right? This is the way that we're seeing it. It does really seem like that was the situation here. And we have heard from Chris Watts himself talk about how he had to talk Nicole Kessinger off the ledge numerous times, how he didn't know that she was bipolar. And so it does seem that throughout the relationship, Nicole Kessinger was so toxic that she wanted Chris to constantly prove to her that she came first, no matter what. Oh, don't answer that call, Chris. I'm first. No, don't go there, Chris. I'm first. And so that's what it seems like to me. It was just the very last thing that she needed to be proven. And that was that. All right, let's go ahead and go into August 12th. August 12th. Not found in Chris's phone. Shannan sent him a message. Good morning, baby. I love you. At 7:58, Shannan told Addie, I got a lot of work to do today and this week. Next weekend, I'm going to go MIA. She's going to go MIA while away with Chris and Aspen. Again, she is excited about it. Shannan was under the impression that she was going to work things out with Chris. She was excited about her trip to Aspen. All the while, Chris is actually planning a hiking trip with his mistress. Ugh, so gross. At 9, right? Sorry, at 8:09, Shannan asked how the girls were. Watts said that they were good and drinking a shake. Shannan replied, "Miss you guys. Give them kisses for me." Watts said he would, and Shannan told him to have a great day. He reciprocated. At 8:11, Josh asked Watts if he was truly all right with Josh and his family staying with the Watts family when they move. Watts said, "That's cool, man. Look at this. Okay. I read this in one of the other messages earlier, and I just thought this is messed up, right? Chris Watts is not only lying to Shannan, he is gaslighting everyone around him. Everyone. All of his friends, his coworkers even, and even Josh. Josh. Josh is asking Chris, is it okay if we stay with you guys because we are moving? This is a friend asking for a friend's help. And Chris knows that he's not going to provide that help for Josh because he's going to kill his family. Yet, he continues and he says, yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, my house is going to get sold and there's going to be no house for you to stay at. But sure, yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, you can stay with me. I'm a good friend. Wow. He could have just said sorry, but no, or I don't know, something. Maybe not, right? Who knows? If he did say no, then maybe they would have asked Shannan. Shannan would have been more suspicious. Who knows, right? But I still think it's gross. All right. Watts went on to describe the finish of the Rockies game. It was epic. Hey, Chris, how was the Rockies game? I saw it. Oh my God, I watched it on TV. That was crazy, right? The 5th inning. Mm-hmm. It was epic. Ugh. So epic. It was epic. Okay? That is his answer. It was epic. He has nothing more to contribute. Just, it was epic. Of course. Very, very Chris Watts. At 8:35, Shannan told Addie, I need to do better with my calendar. I don't block out family time. I fill in family time. He, Chris, said to me last night, it has nothing to do with business though. Addie said she thought that this could have been the issue and insisted that Shannan make more time for the family. Shannan replied, no, I agree. No, I think it's itty bitty things. I sometimes can be bitchy and he gets that side of me. I know I tend to make him feel like he isn't able to do things because I have control issues. He said the other night that he wishes I just let him hang up a picture. Shanann's calendar had the entry titled Talk, scheduled for this date and time. Wow. All right. So this text message here, apart from everything that we know about Shannan, it tells us the kind of person that Shannan was, right? This is a person who took responsibility for her actions and her behaviors. She understood that maybe a part of her was very controlling. Maybe a part of her was bitchy, right? She said it here. She's like, yeah, he gets that side out of me. However, this is someone who has introspection, someone who is able to be aware of themselves. Someone who is aware is mature enough, emotionally mature enough to then fix themselves, right? To then look for therapy, seek help. And that's exactly what Shannan was doing. Aw, thanks, Lucky. My rats want to say hello. Aw, tell them I said hello. They're so cute. I love the rats. I did have rats growing up, you guys. I had tons of animals, all kinds of different types of rodents. I had rats, hamsters, guinea pigs, and other types of non-rodents like hedgehogs. I love all animals, you guys. But yes, exactly, Shelly. Yes, she had inner reflection. No one's perfect, right? None of us here are claiming to be perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are. But the thing is that when we care about other people, when we want them to be okay, when we want them to feel safe, we do the work in ourselves to make sure that other people feel comfortable around us. If you are if you're in a relationship and you hear your partner is telling you things and you just ignore it, then you're not doing the work of a partner. But if you are seeing that your partner is telling you things, they're starting to be distant, and then you start to look inward. Oh, maybe it's me. Maybe it's the things that I have been saying. That tells you that this person is emotionally mature. An emotionally mature person takes responsibility for their actions. They don't have a big ego. And so, for all the people who will say things about Shanann, how she was narcissistic and stuff like that, no, there is no evidence of that. On the contrary, the evidence shows us that she was the opposite of a narcissist. Narcissistic traits are very different from someone actually being a narcissist. If we're going to be real here, right, as humans, we are all just a tad bit, little bit narcissistic, right? All of us are. We're going to think about ourselves first, right? It's part of our survival instinct. A lot of us are just a little bit selfish. That doesn't mean that we are narcissistic people. Having narcissistic traits doesn't make you a narcissist. Shanann was not a narcissist. She was, she was very driven, she was ambitious. That doesn't make her a narcissist though. And so I think that is where people get confused. They think that just because she was a hard worker, she was driven, she was ambitious, she was a tad bit controlling, that she was a narcissist. That is not the case. In this relationship in particular, this type of dynamic worked because she was the one that controlled the things around the house and around the children. And then Chris, being the more passive one, he was the follower. But that worked. That was the dynamic that she believed worked. Apparently it didn't, because for him, that was not good. But it has nothing to do with, the actual person herself being a narcissist. This proves the complete opposite. So for everybody out there who's still confused about Shannan, this text right here proves that she is not a narcissist. Someone who will not take accountability by saying things like, oh, maybe I tend to make him feel like he can't do things. No, a narcissist would never admit fault. They don't. Narcissists do not admit fault ever. Narcissists believe that they are perfect. Let's continue. I know I had to say that because, again, all the Shannan haters out there, it just, sometimes it just has to be said in different languages, apparently, because people don't understand. I have to repeat it over and over again in almost every single one of my videos because I still see a comment here or there. Oh, well, what about this? No, 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 what about this and what about that? No. She's not a narcissist. Let's move on. Okay. It's been proven. All right. 904. Shannan continued with Addie. I always have, but he also never calls me out. He never fights me, right? Here we go. He just goes with the flow. He and I know a little, I like things done a certain way, right? But I never thought about how that makes him feel as a man. I don't even know if it's what's bothering him. He still hasn't said. I'm praying he wrote me a letter like I asked, since he can express himself better in a letter than talking. Again, just more proof, right? Black and white. It's written. It's right here. This is more proof that Shannan was taking, accountability for her own behaviors towards Chris. It's right here. Again, no one here is claiming that Shannan was perfect. She was a human being. Human beings are not perfect. But she was taking responsibility for the things that she was doing in the relationship that made Chris feel a certain way. Something that Chris didn't do. He did not care about how she felt. He only cared about himself. That is a narcissist. I have learned in an emoji, I don't know what this is an emoji indicating a woman shrugging. Oh, okay. Shannan added, I'm a pusher and he's a withdrawer. He has strengths that are my weaknesses and vice versa. Look at this. This is perfectly put. She's a pusher and he's a withdrawer. He has strengths that are my weaknesses, and my strengths are his weaknesses, right? Vice versa. This is why they were such a good team together. It's because she realized that his strengths were her weaknesses, and so they were able to complement each other. She noticed that. She was aware of that. Oh my goodness. Shannan continued, the lack of communication isn't on my part. I can be better at how I communicate, but if he doesn't communicate, what is she going to do? I say things sometimes just to get him to react in any way, since he doesn't react, and that's not good. It's not even all the time. 99% of the time, we are perfectly fine. And we have never, ever fought literally over anything serious. I have fought with him over stupid shit like not doing something I asked in a timely manner. Again, right? She's considering the fighting is not really fighting. It's not like they're not arguing, right? There's no domestic violence or craziness going on in the house. Blatant disrespect. What she is describing here is something that happens, right? It happens in relationships. It's normal. One person sometimes will have a little more OCD than the other person. And hey, the trash is overflowing. Can you please take it out? And it's been 5 minutes. I'm cooking. I'm cutting stuff. I'm trying to throw stuff in the trash, and the trash is still there. It's still full. It's still overflowing, and it wasn't taken out. And I'm like, hello, can you please take out the trash? I'm cooking, and I need to put the trash somewhere. It's overflowing. Can you please just take it out? Right? I turn around, cooking again and the trash is still there. Hey, take out the trash, please. Third time I've asked, can you please take out the trash? I'm cooking for you. Can you please just take out the trash for me, please? That is the impression that I get, right? And it's just it's normal. It's what happens in a lot of relationships. That's why neighbors need comments about them screaming at each other was just an overreaction on his part, which he did admit he caught up in the moment. Yes. Yeah, we're talking about Nate believing that he heard screaming next door, but he thought it was probably Chris and Shannan. I still think that if it got that loud for Nate to hear, I think it was Chris and Nicole Kessinger. I don't think it was Chris and Shannan at all. Let's continue. Shanann said, I did belittle him without realizing it with his parents. Told him that he needed to find his balls and protect his family. Shanann said Watts is submissive when his parents are involved. Addie said that is Watts' disposition and added, he would kill for you. So it was Addie who said this. I always thought that this was an ironic text message. He would kill for you. Actually ended up being he would kill you. Let's erase the for. He would kill you was the actual correct answer. Again, right? In retrospect. Shanann told Addie, told him in a letter I would for him and there has to be mutual respect. I did respect his parents enough to deal with them. His mom just didn't, and when alone with me, jabs at me. It's not fair. I mean, I agree to spend 5 weeks with both parents. That's hell for me. But I did it for him and for the kids. Look at this part. His mom just didn't, and when alone with me, jabs at me. Yeah, I totally agree, Shelly. It's like, it's, see, the thing is that it has become, the relationship has become so distant at this point that Shanann, yeah, she's taking accountability and she's realizing her part in it, but it's very much like she's blaming herself now fully, which is also not good, okay? Like also, it's never one person's fault 100% completely. It never is. It never is, okay? And so here what Shanann is doing, she is almost putting all of the blame on herself, which is creating more anxiety for her, if anything, because now she's seeing all of her flaws and not seeing any of his. Where I will say that is where we need to find the balance, right? As human beings with partners, we need to find a healthy balance between obviously not blaming everything on your partner, but also not blaming everything on yourself because that's not healthy either. It's not just your fault, okay? You have to hold your partner accountable for things as well, but it has to be a healthy balance. It has to be done respectfully as well. But yeah, I completely agree. It does look like she is definitely blaming herself so severely at this point where it's almost like she is even, I don't know, excusing some of Chris's behavior, which it's not acceptable either. You cannot just excuse garbage behavior from your, lazy partner. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That was really good. I'm glad you brought that up because it needs to be said, right? A healthy balance for both parties. And then here it is. Shanann continued. He was never close to anyone but his dad, and we know this. Chris talks about it. Oh, my dad is my hero. My dad is my hero. We go to see the cars. We go to all the museums. Yeah, he's my hero. Yeah, except he didn't really even care about his dad. If he cared about his dad so much, he wouldn't have killed his grandchildren. Where was I? Okay, he was never close to anyone but his dad. I being the family person tried bringing them closer and it backfired. I need to feel like he will stand up for us faced with difficult situations. That's where he flaws. That's where he flaws or weakness. Okay, nice. Yeah, so Shanann is taking responsibility, but she's also realizing, yeah, like this is where the issue lies. It's because Chris, every time that it comes with his parents, right? Every time that it comes to standing up to them, he is submissive. He's very passive and he doesn't like confrontation. And that is part of his flaw. And so she saw that as her strength. Her strength was that she can stand up for her family. She can voice the things that bother her. And Chris, being the introvert, he was not able to do that. And that was his weakness. Yes, Trash Panda Mom. So was the 5 weeks away Chris's idea to begin with? What are the odds NK got Chris to convince Shanann to go? Hmm. I've never even thought about that, Trash Panda. That's really, I don't know. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know because I thought Shanann just decided to go on her own, but I don't think that that aspect of it has been investigated enough. Like, do we know why Shanann took off for 5 weeks? Because that is a very good question. A lot of you have wondered if Shanann took off for 5 weeks to get away from Chris or if Chris convinced her to leave. So it is a very good question. I'm going to write that down. Thank you. I think all questions, guys, I will say all the questions that you add, I do look up. I'll look up. Sometimes I forget to mention them in my live streams because there's a lot going on, but I do look everything up. And sometimes if I don't find the answer and it's not part of the case, I just don't bring it up. But if it is part of it, notice that I do bring it up. I'm like, hey, guess what I found out? And it's true. So yeah, I'll go ahead and add that too, because that's a very good question. Shanann leaving for 5 weeks. If anybody knows, of course, please let us know. All right. And then Shanann told Addie, my weakness is that I have an Italian temper that I can't hold back when I'm pissed. I'm a fixer. I don't want to talk this out. I just want things to work out in his head. I've just been acting kind of normal. Morning baby, love you, etc., but not overdoing it. Overdoing it is what we do. We are so affectionate, can't stop touching each other. Not just sex, just the touch. Right? Yeah, again, here she's again putting blame on herself. Oh, it's my Italian temper. I just can't hold it back when I'm pissed, right? Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely that is her strength and that is what made her such a good salesperson. That is why she thrived in Lavelle, right? That is exactly why. She's a go-getter and she's not going to hold back. Shanann asked Watts, can you do me a favor today if you have time? Can you get the girls' backpacks ready for tomorrow with blankies and spare clothes, please? If not, I can do it in the AM. Watts said he would. Wow. I've never seen this text before. Can you do me a favor if you have time? Can you get the girls' backpacks ready for tomorrow? The blankies and the spare clothes. If not, I can do it in the morning, she said. I wonder if Chris told his mother that Cece didn't have any allergies. Oh, that's a good question. That's a good one, Lucky. Now that you brought that up, that is actually, I think that is very plausible. Knowing that Chris would turn the families against one another, right? It's very, yeah, I think it's logical to think that Chris made it up and he told his family, oh, she's not actually allergic, just to see what Shanann would do. That's a good one. I'm going to look into that as well. And then, yeah, the first day of school. Chris knowing that he's not going to send them to school the next morning. And here we go. Shanann asked Watts to send her pictures of the girls. I miss them. And it's 12:45, guys. So for the last 45 minutes, Nicole Kessinger was Googling three-way twister. Backdoor twister. How do you play twister with three people backdoor? Yeah, I'm the main person. Yeah, I'm the one that wants to put all of my limbs on all of the circles. How do you play that? For 45 minutes straight. So for the past 45 minutes we've been talking, she was doing that. Interesting, right? Shanann asked Watts to send her pictures of the girls. I miss them. And here they are. Roughly 18 hours before their murders, Watts took one of the last known images of Celeste in life. He sent this and one of Bella taken at the same time to Shanann. This is one of their last photos alive, taken by Chris Watts. Look at where the photo is. It's in the same spot where Chris was telling the investigators, I miss them throwing chicken nuggets at me, honestly. Mm. Yeah, the machine. Yeah, the Facebook machine. Yeah, everyone knows. Everyone all over the East Coast, everyone all over Europe, everyone all over the world. Yeah, even people over in Pluto know about it because of the machine. This is where he took the photo. Can you guys tell what she's eating? What is Cece eating? I wonder if those are chicken nuggets. At 10:45, Watts searched Google for Mount Colima. He preserved an image of the volcano spewing lava and smoke. Here we go. More BS. He's Googling more places to take his girlfriend. Mount Colima, let's go. Poor Shanann. Thanks, Rox, for saying she wasn't a narcissist. That word gets thrown around a lot. Exactly. Thanks, Britt. Yes, narcissist, the word gets thrown around a lot. Not everyone is a narcissist, okay? Narcissistic traits are very different, but not everyone is a narcissist. You get diagnosed with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, right? Those are real diagnoses. And when someone is a narcissist, it's very obvious that they are. When someone is just, headstrong, or like driven, that is not that is not a narcissist. It has to be said. It has to be said because people don't get it. All right, at 11:13, Shanann asked if the girls were taking a nap. Watts said that they were just laying down. Shanann asked Watts, if you have time today, before they wake up, I want to call them back. I'd love to talk to you. Watts said, okay, and he never did. Wow. At 12:17, perhaps the last image of Shanann taken in life. She's so beautiful. Watts took photographs of the girls playing in the distance in a backyard near a small pool. Look. He traded his loving wife and his children for Nicole Kessinger. That man is so absolutely stupid. What a stupid man. At 14:46, Ronnie asked if Watts and the girls were doing well. Watts said yes. Ronnie responded, okay, we love you guys. Huh. Are the girls doing well? Okay. Ronnie asked. Okay. Shanann asked if the girls were having fun at the party. Watts said that they were still there and that they were having fun. Shanann replied, good. I'm glad. Okay, love you. Watts did not respond. Watts searched Google for Paricutin volcano. What in the world is he doing? Does anybody know where Paricutin is? Oh, it's in Mexico. It's a cinder cone in Michoacan, Mexico. Oh my goodness. It looks beautiful, by the way, but yeah, this is it. Chris Watts was trying to take his girlfriend to Mexico, to the volcanoes in Mexico. Again, right? This is a man who was about to annihilate his family, sell his house, possibly get some insurance money, who knows? And look at what he was going to do with all that money. selling of the ring and all of that. He was gonna buy a house, cars, sports cars, 3 what is it? 3 garage door houses, and now they're going to volcanoes in Mexico. Wow. At 1844, a photo was created in his image file documenting the temperature setting in the refrigerator. Uh, okay, sorry. My brain just broke. An image documenting the temperature setting in the refrigerator. A photo of 4 chicken breasts on a barbecue grill was created in his image file. What's going on? I just went somewhere else. What is up with the fridge temperature? Why is he taking a photo of this? I've never heard of this before. I've never seen this. He took a photo of the temperature setting in the fridge. Try doing that. Try going to your fridge and taking the photo. Why would you need it? Okay. Why would you need it unless you are going to repair it? Unless you're gonna call someone to come fix your fridge. Oh, what's wrong with it? What is this about? I'm super quiet right now because I'm in shock. I've never seen this before, and mm, I think you all know where my brain went. Why would he want to know the temperature of the fridge? Yeah, he took a picture of the fridge temperature and there was never a reason. I don't have any speculation why. I know some people say that he wanted to put Cece in the fridge after he killed her, but oh my goodness. I think maybe he was wondering if the chicken breasts were good. They were probably in the refrigerator for quite a while. Maybe he was going to send the temperature to Nikki and see if it was good. Jerry, I would not doubt that, not even a second. I do believe that being part of it, to be completely honest. I don't know, Nikki. These chickens have been here for 3.5 weeks. They're a little slimy. Yeah. My fridge, is this okay? Let me send you the temperature of my fridge. It's 80 degrees Fahrenheit in here. Here, let me take a photo. There we go. Okay. It's 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Is it okay for me to eat this chicken? Yeah, it's a little slimy. It smells really bad. But do you think something's wrong with my fridge? I wouldn't put it past him. This is Chris Watts we're talking about after all. He Googles Google. He Googles, volcanoes, but he's not going to Google, is it okay for me to eat this 3-week-old chicken? Is it okay to leave chicken out in 80-degree weather? Oh my God. Thank you. That came from Sherilyn Cadle. Okay. It was right because there was a rumor that he was going to put Cece's body in the fridge to stop the scent and the smell. Okay. So is this where that rumor came from? I see why that rumor exists. It's because it's in the discovery. It's in here that he took a photo of the fridge temperature. Let's go ahead and add that to the calendar. Yeah, let's go ahead and add that. What date is this again? Okay, it's the 12th. Sorry, I had to scroll up because I forget things. All right, so on the 12th, he took a photo of the refrigerator temperature. Chris Watts, fridge temp photo. All right. Chris Watts took the temperature. I see now why that rumor happened. Why that rumor was created. All right. And then a photo of the 4 chicken breasts on the barbecue grill. I love everyone's opinions. Yes. And yeah, I mean, even though these are all opinions, hey, we're basing it off of what we're seeing, and we can come up with our own theories this way. All right, and then at 17:06, Watts told Cody Roberts, a coworker, "I have the whip checks for Survey 629. I'm gonna go straight out there from my house in the morning. I will look at 319 as well and run the 1129 if you want." Watts called Sandy Rusak and held a nearly 12-minute conversation. So he called his mother-in-law. Roberts replied, "I was going to go head out there first thing tomorrow morning to check out the 319. Did Troy talk to you about what I had found out there Friday afternoon?" Okay. What I had found out there Friday afternoon. Watts answered, "Yep. I was standing right next to him. I was giving him the fire stick to look at. I can go out there, though. No sense in both of us going out there, LOL." And then Chris Watts searched the Dead Sea Scrolls. So that's when he searched it at 5 p.m., 5:30. So he had just, I don't know, he had just handed over the fire stick. He was talking to people around the day, and then he searched Google for Dead Sea Scrolls at 5 p.m. Roberts responded, "All right, sounds good, man. I appreciate it. I think I still have a couple conies left out there. I can let you know in the morning, and let me know if you find anything at the 319. If we may pressure test the BP line and see if it's leaking underground." Shannan asked, "Hey, honey, kids in bed?" And asked for pictures. Watts replied, "Bella just back in bed." Shannan noted, "They must be exhausted." And okay, look at this, right? The leaking on the ground. This is why I speculate that this was all planned, that the leak was part of the plan to get Chris to get out to 319 to dispose of his family's body, or also to blow up the site to get the insurance money, as the theories are, right? So it could be one of the two, but I still do believe that if it's either or, it was still planned. I still think that the leak was still planned. All right. And then Watts resent images from earlier in the day at the dinner table. He added this image taken later in the day at the birthday party, the last known photograph of Bella in life. At 1954, Shannan told Watts the power went out during dinner with Cindy and Addie before the airport. She sent a photograph of a darkened restaurant. Oh, so that's why that photo was a little bit dark, huh? So the power went out. Here it is. Here's the photo. So this is the photo that she sent to Chris Watts. And this is where the power went out. Wow. She commented on the photograph he just sent. "Great job on Bella's hair." Watts replied, "That sucks." "Yeah, she cooperated." Shannan explained, "Really bad dust storm, rain, thunder, and lightning." Shannan said Cindy bought her dinner. Shannan concluded, "Praying it doesn't cancel flight." Addie's flight was canceled this morning. Shannan called Watts and held a 9-minute conversation. Revealing how their talk went immediately after this call, she told Watts, "Sorry I bothered you. I just wanted to talk to you." Shannan told Addie that she can call Chris about Jack. He's up. Shannan told Watts, "Thank you for taking good care of the kids this weekend so I can learn and work. I appreciate it." Look at this. Even this text message, "Thank you for taking good care of your children," right? These are kids. These are Chris's kids, right? But here we have Shannan, the mother, thanking her husband for doing his duty, taking care of his own kids. "Thank you for taking good care of the kids this weekend so I can learn and work. I appreciate it." Look at the way that she's talking to him. Look at the way she's talking to him. She's getting on his good side, letting him know, "Hey, thank you for supporting me." The way that she worded it, this part here, "I can learn and work. I appreciate it." This is her letting him know, thank you for supporting me, right? Thank you for taking care of the children while I go work and learn and elevate myself so that we can all be good together. But even the way it's written, right? I appreciate it as if, come on, if you're the father of your children, take care of your kids. They are your children too. Why should your wife or partner be appreciative just because you took care of your own kids? They're your children too. Hello, take care of them. What is so hard about taking care of your own children? Watching them for a little bit. 2045, Watts returned a missed call to Addie and held a 16-minute conversation. Moments later, he told Shannan, "You're welcome. I just talked to Addie." In their follow-up message, it is clear Watts offered Addie mechanical advice on a car. Right? So here asking for mechanical advice on a car. And then at 21:09, Shannan asked Watts, "What kind of vegetables do you want for dinner tomorrow?" Right? Dinner that is not going to happen. Watts replied, "Green beans." Green beans is what he wants for dinner, right? The vegetables is what he wants. Oh, I want green beans. Shannan said that he would buy them tomorrow at Costco along with other items. Again, this dinner is not going to happen. Shannan told Watts that she was ready to come home. "I'm ready for bed." And then here we go. We start with Shannan messaging Addie, explaining to accompanying text was what Shannan planned to tell Watts tomorrow night. The message read, "Can you please tell me something, because just like you, I'm in my head. I try to fix things and make them better and and this is making me crazy. I know that you need time. I want to give you what you're asking for and respect your space. I need some time. This place that I'm in my head, it's not a good place. It's not healthy for me or Nico. I need you to help me help you. I need you to give me just a little bit of what I did or didn't do so that I'm not going crazy in my head trying to figure it out. I know I can't fix this by myself. That we are going to have to work together." So again, this is Shannan going crazy in her own head. She has no idea why Chris has been so distant for the past 5 to 6 weeks. And she just wants to know, what did she do to deserve to be treated this way? Shannan made an unanswered call to Chris Watts. Shannan told Watts, "Tried to give you an update, was starting to board, and they announced that our crew isn't here yet, and I'm going to be a minimum of an hour before they're here." It's going to be a minimum of an hour before they're here. Shannan received a calendar alert, and then Watts finally replied at 23:21, "Holy crap, sorry, I passed out on the couch. That's going to be late." We know, we've seen this text message, and as we know, let's go ahead and pull up Nicole Kessinger's phone calls here. Just before we end this live stream here, I just want to go over these calls. I love doing this just because I love seeing the events, right? Like what was actually going on between Chris, Shannan, and Nicole Kessinger all at the same time. And so here we have that was on August 12th. So let's go ahead and scroll to August 12th. And this is here. Okay. It's right here. So this phone call here, 111 minutes, is why Chris Watts wasn't able to respond to Shannan's text messages telling him that her flight was going to be delayed. He finally texted at 23:21, so 11, right? 11:21. "Holy crap, I passed out on the couch. That's going to be late." While he was on the phone with Nicole Kessinger. Right, yeah, passed out, of course. He was not passed out at all. He was talking to Nicole Kessinger. The one thing I will ask, this is just a question that I have always wondered. And let me know what you all think about this. Shannan knew that something was up, right? She suspected that there was something going on, especially after she Googled the Lazy Dog and the Rockies game. But one thing that I always wondered is why not check the phone records? I always wondered that. If there was suspicion, the phone records would have shown every single phone call between Chris and Nicole Kessinger. And so I just always wondered, because that would have been the, what is it? That would have been obvious that there was an affair going on. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. It's just something that I always thought. Why I wonder, right? If there was some suspicion going on. I have said in the past that the reason that I don't think Shanann looked at the phone records is because she still trusted him. She still trusted him, and a part of her, she didn't want to violate his privacy. I think that a part of her still wanted to have a healthy relationship with her husband, and she wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, and she wanted to trust him. And so she did not want to break that trust by looking in the phone records and trying to go through his cell phone and do, all of that type of behavior that then can spiral and go downhill. And so that is what I suspect. That's why I believe that she didn't go through the phone records. But what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think about that. Still kind of in denial? Yeah. Yes, Jerry. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I agree. Even if you divorce, you still need to co-parent. Mhm. I think Shanann was still making sense of what was going on. Yeah. Yeah, Shelly. I agree. Yeah, she was probably still confused, right? It all happened so fast. Again, all of this happened so quick. It happened during the time that she wasn't there, so she couldn't control anything. This is Shanann. Like, as we know, she liked to maintain things a certain way. And so since she wasn't there to actually work on the marriage with Chris physically, right? She was trying to figure out what was going on without stepping on too many toes. At least that's how I see it. Yes, Rock, she trusted him. I wish she didn't. Exactly, Connie. Yes. She thought he had no game. Exactly. Yes, Misty. Thank you for bringing that up. She did think he had no game. Oh, he doesn't have it in him, she said in one of her text messages. Because again, yeah, she didn't believe that he was capable of cheating. Even her friends, Addie, even her friend Addie said, "Oh, he would kill for you." Except, no, he would kill her. Everyone believed that Chris Watts was this angel, and he wasn't. I forget, did he use his work phone? For which one? Right, it's very hard. You can't be in denial. I think it's in the phone records as far as where she was when the phone call was made. Yes. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Does it say where Nicole was calling from when she talked to him for 11 minutes on her phone bill? Oh, let's go ahead and pull it up. Yes, Thornton. So she called him from home. It was an incoming call. Chris called. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see it. Here it is. All right. So it was an incoming call. Let me see if I can make this bigger now since there we go. Perfect. All right. Can you guys see that? Awesome. All right. Thornton. So Chris called her and she answered the phone from Thornton. So it looks like she was home. She was in her apartment, maybe. I know that there are theories out there of, people thinking that maybe they just set the phone down and they went out to dig holes. I personally don't believe that. I really don't. I just don't see any evidence to support that theory. But again, if there is, please show me. But here, it's showing that she answered the call from Thornton from her home. Yeah. Is this the call that we were? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Until you experience and been abused by a true narcissist, especially the covert kind, you have no idea. They play on your sincerity, trust, and love. Absolutely. They do. They know how to prey on people who have empathy because they don't have it. And so they know how to play on those heartstrings. That they know that that is a weakness in people. That's the thing about narcissists is that if you are an empathetic, loving, and caring person, they see that as a weakness. They sniff it out. That is how they get their fix. They go after vulnerable people, people who are empathetic because obviously they're not going to get their fix from another narcissist. They have to be able to suck the souls out of people. But anyway, guys, all right. Well, that is all I have for you guys today. That is all I have for you today. Yeah, we stopped here. Okay, here before we go, we stopped at August 13th. Okay, so we've gone through so much of it. We are actually almost done with this part of the discovery. And yeah, our next live stream is going to be on the day of the murders. So please come equipped with all of your questions, all of your links. If you have links, go ahead and add them and come equipped with all of your information for our next live stream, which will be on, sorry, let me just look at my calendar, Thursday. Our next live stream will be on Thursday at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. my time to give our folks in Australia a chance to collaborate on this live stream. And so next live stream will be on Thursday at 4 p.m. Be on the lookout for a video tomorrow. I will be finishing it today. And so for our members, you'll be having it tonight. And for everybody else, you'll see the video tomorrow. Thank you all so, so much for joining today's live stream. I love you guys. Please, please take care of yourselves. A special thank you as always. Special thanks to our moderators. Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you so much. Thank you to VW Beep. Thank you to our moderators, our members, and our subscribers. Thank you so much to all of you who are watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment on this video. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.